Hey guys, Michael here from Fat to Fit, and in today's video I thought I would go through one of my legs and shoulder workouts. And so let's begin. So I have a compound movement for every muscle group, and for my legs it is the back squat. I've always done squats, it's something I've always loved, and I always think you should have some form of squat in your workout. So here I am just getting prepared. As you can see, everyone has their own cues, but for me it's getting into position and taking 3 deep breaths before I pick the weight up, and then getting my feet into position and then taking more breaths before I actually start to squat. And then all I do is go down, make sure I'm keeping my head as neutral as possible. A lot of people tend to look up, but that's not what you want to be doing because it tends to put your spine at a vulnerable position. So head down as much as possible and just trying to lean back as far as possible. Here it shows you how I'm really focusing on my knees, trying not to make sure they're not pushing forward too much. So the cue I like to use is making sure my knees are kind of before my toes, if that makes sense, and just trying to lean back as far as I can into that squat. And then after the squats, I do my other compound movement for my shoulders, which is the overhead press. And now I like to do my compound movements first because that way I have the main energy. All my energy can be focused on them. And as you can see here, overhead press has always been a sticking point for me. But you can see here, you have to try and keep a straight line when you're lifting the weight up. That's why you see my head kind of moving back and forward. You want to keep the bar as straight as possible because you don't want to be arching your back too much, which I tend to do in the last few reps, as you can see a bit here. But 2 main reasons for me showing you this clip here. One is the arching of my lower back. I don't think it's too arched here, but it does get worse. And the second is this trainer here. Now this whole time I was doing my overhead press, this trainer was telling the guy next to me, oh, you've got perfect form and everything, but he was leaning on his toes, he was craning his head up way high, and it's just stay safe in the gym, guys. That's all I want to say. Also, you saw me do there a little jump. When towards the end of my overhead press, I really struggle with it, and so what I do is I do this little jump. It turns it more into I forget what it's called. It's an Olympic pressing movement, but it really helps me get those last few reps out, and I really do feel it in my shoulders, so I feel it's okay to cheat for a little bit. And then after that, I kind of move into my more accessory type movements. Leg extension. Leg extension, you do not need to go heavy on it. If I go too heavy on this, I tend to get knee pain. So what I do is higher reps and making sure I really try to squeeze at the top there and just trying to get that full contraction. You don't want to be going too heavy on this because it can cause you a lot of pain, and it is where people normally stuff their knees up when they're doing these types of leg movements. Now after the leg extension, I go onto this machine shoulder press. And what I really like about this machine is that it has a seat belt. So what the point of that seat belt is that it really keeps your butt glued to the seat so you're not lifting up, and it makes sure you're not arching too much, which I really like. And so all I did was just the basic press. You don't want to be going too low like any shoulder movement, just mainly to parallel or just below. So where your arms are in line with kind of the floor at the same angle, and just going up and down like a normal pressing movement. And I really like this again for the seat belt. It really keeps your butt glued to the seat. So if you have a hammer strength shoulder press machine, make sure you give it a try. And then my next 2 movements I like to do supersetted, because by this point in the workout I'm feeling totally stuffed after those compound movements and the 2 accessories. So I superset these seated hamstring curls with dumbbell lateral raises, and it really works for me. And once again, this machine has the seat belt as well, and it's really important for this machine because your butt does tend to come off the seat for this one, so I do recommend using the seat belt. If you have, not many people use a seat belt, and I have no idea why. It's so awesome to use. Just use a seat belt. Safety is awesome. And here you just want to make sure you're contracting at the bottom there, really squeezing those hamstrings, as a lot of people tend to neglect the hamstrings. And then, like I said, over to the dumbbell lateral raise. So what a superset is, basically I have no rest in between the two exercises. So I do the seated hamstring curls, then I go straight into the dumbbell lateral raises, and it's really good because the movements pretty much have nothing to do with each other and you can work the two muscle groups easily. My main tip for this one is make sure you keep your elbows above your wrists when you come up, because a lot of people tend not to do that, and they don't get as much activation as they could be in their shoulders, which can be a mistake. So make sure the cue I like to use is keeping your elbows above your wrists. Even I don't do it sometimes, I forget, but it is a good cue to have. And then after the end of every workout, I do my 10 minutes of cardio. I really favor the treadmill. Treadmill is my absolute favorite, not running. I don't like running too much, but for some reason today I really felt like running, so I did it, and you'll see it here with my breasts jiggling up and down. But anyway, that's how I finished off the workout, and I think that's going to be the end of this video. I'm really getting used to this editing software and I love it on my new computer. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have anything to say. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you later, guys.